Kawasaki P1. Very smartly into the air. As you can see, there's 4 jet maritime patrol aircraft. And of course, Japan is a country with a great need for such a machine in its inventory, given the extent of its territorial waters and the number of Japanese island territories. The P1 was developed by Kawasaki as a replacement for the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Forces fleet of Lockheed P3C, or RIATs, and the prototype, the XP1, made its maiden flight in September 2007. We saw it climbing out there at a speed of 135 knots. Captaining the crew today is Commander Ken Yasuoka. He's a test pilot aged 46, and he's conducted test flying of the US-2 flying boat as well as the P1. Currently he has around 6,100 flying hours. It's a very versatile aircraft, the P1 in the modern multi-mission mode, able to cover a wide speed and indeed altitude envelope. And particularly notable is the fact that it's the first production aircraft in the world to use very sophisticated fly-by-light technology for its flying controls. That's in an effort to reduce potential electromagnetic interference. The next pass coming up at around 155 knots, and we'll see the electro-optical and infrared turret extended, and the weapons bay doors on the underside will be open. A very interesting chance to see into this aircraft's bomb bay. Can be armed with the AGM-84 Harpoon and ASM-1C anti-shipping missiles, as well as AGM-65 Maverick air-to-surface missiles, plus such stores as bombs, depth charges, mines and torpedoes, not only in the internal bomb bay, but also on underwing and wing root mounted weapon stations. And this is the sole 4-jet maritime reconnaissance aircraft that is in service today. Development started in 2001. Prototype, as I said, flew in September 2007, and it became operational in March of this year. This aircraft comes from Air Development Squadron VX-51, based at Atsugi in Japan's Kanagawa Prefecture. It's the first time a Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force aircraft has flown across the Atlantic Ocean after departing Japan, across the Pacific and the Atlantic, to arrive here at Fairford. And when the aircraft leave here, the 2 machines, because there's one in the static park as well that you can go and have a look at close up, will be deploying to Djibouti for further operational trials in hotter climates. Another flight pass now from the P1, this time at around 250 knots. Something very impressive about this aeroplane is how quiet it is. The Japanese-made engines, 4 IHI XF7-19 turbofans of 13,500 pounds of thrust each, are extremely environmentally friendly in all respects. Also Japanese-made is the active electronically scanned array maritime search radar, a Toshiba HPS-106 unit. A typical crew for the aeroplane would be 2 flight crew and 11 mission system operators, but obviously they with only carrying essential crew for a display. So there are 6 of them on board. The pilot in command, as I said, Commander Ken Yasuoka. The second pilot is Lieutenant Commander Masayuki Kamakura. The flight engineer, Chief Petty Officer Kiyonori Takahashi. So on board is P-01 Ken Kobayashi. In-flight technician, Chief Petty Officer Hiroaki Nagai. And the ordnance operator, P-01 Tsutomo Kankaki. The Japanese military valued contributors to the air tattoo in recent years twice. The last time being last year, the Japanese Air Self-Defense Force has sent a static display a Boeing KC-767J tanker transport, but this is the first time the country's maritime air arm has contributed and the first time Japan has flown in the display. So, very historic moments at the air tattoo this year. About 120 knots approach speed. And very shortly into land to complete its sequence. The Kawasaki P1 of the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force. We're delighted to see the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force here at RIAT. They have found it a great pleasure to fly here, and thank you for your attention during the P1's flight performance.